He might be a real estate agent in the United States. And there are others. I don't know the details. I don't know quite exactly what happened to them, but they might have died, or they might still be alive. Excusez-moi. But nonetheless, they exist, or did exist. And the Unitarian Universalist Association, unfortunately, tries to pretend that they didn't exist and that, you know, these things never happened, kind of thing. Now, it's true that they've admitted to Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell's rape of teenage Tibetan refugees. It's kind of hard to deny it when he's charged, tried, and convicted and sentenced to a jail term. But they still try to hide it. They still try to, you know, intimidate me into removing blog posts that tell the very readily verifiable truth about Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell and so on. Then there's the recent case of Reverend Ronald Eugene Robinson, also known as Reverend Ron Robinson, who was recently convicted of accessing child porn on the internet and being involved in some child porn chat sites where he basically fantasized not only about raping children but killing them after that. So pretty nasty stuff on the part of Ron Robinson. So he was convicted recently. He was actually, I think they first discovered his activities in 2015. I think it was late in 2015. I think it was in November of 2015 where the Homeland Security people came across Reverend Ronald Eugene Robinson in a online child porn chat site, and they arrested him earlier this year, and I believe he pleaded guilty. I think there was enough evidence against him that he decided not to contest the charges against him. They might have dropped a few. There might have been some kind of plea bargain going on there, but he was sentenced, I believe, to 57 months in jail, and he's also going to be under supervision for a decade after that. So a decade after he's released, whenever that may be, he will then be a registered sex offender for at least a decade. So, yeah, that's Reverend Ron Robinson, ever so Christian Unitarian Universalist. I actually came up with a new acronym for such Unitarian Universalists, CUPIDS. That is CU*UPIDS. Is an acronym for Christian Unitarian Universalist pedophiles into depraved sadism. I think that's a pretty good Unitarian Universalist acronym, CUPIDS. Obviously being more than a little bit sarcastic here. But I might have a little bit of fun with that on the Emerson Avenger blog. I mean, there's various other acronyms I could come up with, but CUPIDS is kind of appropriate, I think, in various ways, or very inappropriate, obviously, too. But yeah, that's Reverend Ronald Eugene Robinson, Christian Unitarian Universalist minister, is certainly numbered amongst CUPIDs, with two U's and an asterisk between them. So, yeah, I think I will blog about that. But you heard it here first. And I see that my sensor's overheating, so I think we're wrapping this up. Just going to have a last look at the Unitarian Clergy Abuse Sucks chalk slogan, and just have a last look at some of the other slogans here. So, speak out against UU child abuse on Purple Friday. Speak about all other child abuse on Purple Friday as well. I'm sure that David Lean and other survivors of sexual abuse of children, child sex abuse. I would be very happy if you wore purple on Friday the 15th of September and used the Purple Friday hashtag on social media to call attention to sexual abuse of children. I'll be calling attention to sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalists, and also Unitarian Universalist cover-up and even outright denial of sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers and so on. But yeah, we're wrapping this up. We're just going to gather up the picket signs here and call it a day. I've been up since around 4:30 this morning because I did a little bit of pre-dawn photography, so I think I'm going to have a nice little afternoon nap, and then we'll take things from there. Definitely going to have to retape some of these printouts. Start to come away from the picket sign backgrounds. And yes, we're done. Overheated sensor and all. But yeah, just a last look at the slogans. We'll actually walk down the other way and get a little bit of video of the other slogan. But yeah, that overheating thing has been showing now for several minutes, so it's only a matter of time before the camera shuts down due to the overheating. So we'll just quickly walk along here, get the rest of the chalk slogans on video one more time, and call it a day. Call it the quite successful protest of September 10th, 2017, marking the beginning of the new church year at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. So yeah, it was quite a good little protest today, and did quite nicely in terms of interactions with the general public and willfully ignorant Montreal Unitarians, also known as Montreal Unitarians who have their head up their ass. So Montreal Unitarian assats, yeah, that's another way of using that term. But yeah, we're done here. It's the end of my protest for today. We might have a little look and see how the chalk slogans are doing later, but yeah, we're done as far as the picketing is concerned.